Well, the actions of France are wrong and disproportionate, and they need to release the seized vessel soon and make sure that the crew can get back to what they should be doing, which is fishing at this time of year. We do need to establish the facts here, and I raised this in the House of Commons yesterday because it looks like that the fishing boat that has been seized actually did have the correct fishing licence, but the list given to the European Union and France by the UK government didn't have that boat on. Now, if that was a spreadsheet error and oversight, that needs to be corrected swiftly by the UK government, because we don't want to see this escalate any further. That is only one part of a much bigger problem. The botched Brexit deal that we've seen over the past few months has frankly made UK fishers incredibly angry, incredibly betrayed, but the same feelings held by French fishers. So there's not one side feeling like they're winning here. Both sides feel like they're losing. And what we need to get to a solution is that tensions are lowered on both sides of the channel, where there's a clear plan to how they resolve this, because bear in mind that the longer this goes on, the further risk of disruption, the more jobs will be lost in the UK, because this time of year is absolutely critical for British seafood exports, where they're exporting into our largest market, which is the European Union. And if customers in the EU are saying, well, this is going to be difficult, they'll get their fish from elsewhere, and that means job losses here. So it makes our fishing industry poorer. That's why a solution has to be found, and found early.
And how are you sticking by UK fishermen in your constituency?
Yes, so as well as looking after fishing in the shadow cabinet for Labour, I represent the south of Plymouth, which has nearly 1,000 jobs in fishing. And what they're looking for at the moment is for people to be relentlessly supportive of the British fishing industry, not only buying British fish when you can in supermarkets and in the shops, but making the case for British fishing, because they had a lot of promises made to them by the government leading up to our withdrawal from the European Union, and those promises were broken. They were promised extra fish quota, and sadly, the extra fish we seem to only swim on spreadsheets. They don't really exist in the sea, so they can't be caught. And importantly, they were promised that foreign boats would not access the waters closest to the UK mainland, and that promise was again broken. So they feel really betrayed by this. So there's not a lot of trust in the UK government to defend their corner, but they're also aware how they were used as a political football in the past, and they don't want to be used as a political football again. Well, fishers just want to catch fish and earn their money by catching fish. And that's what we need ministers on both sides of the channel to focus on, to allow UK boats that do fish in French waters to do so unimpeded, uninterrupted, so they can legally catch what they're supposed to, but also where there are French fishing boats and EU boats in our waters, where they have a legal right to do so, they should also be able to fish. But we shouldn't accept any further reduction in the rights of British fishers, because frankly, they've been betrayed enough since Brexit, and we need to make sure that we're backing them fully. But the best way of doing that is lowering tensions and letting them get on and fish.
Yeah, so you mentioned that B word there, Brexit. So do you pin the blame on this row on Brexit?
Well, if you're looking back to the root causes of much of this, it's the botched Brexit deal that promised so much to British fishing and delivered very little. That's really reduced the confidence that British fishers have in the UK government to stand up for them, because the promises that were made were not kept. Equally, if you look on the other side of the channel, many of the promises made to French fishers, they don't feel has been kept. Now, what we need is ministers to recognise that the way out of this is not by building up tensions, not by continuing to press ever more aggressive language. We need to put calm heads and cool hands on the tiller to make sure that we are finding proper solutions for this, because my fear here is that British fishing will again be the losers of this if we don't have that clear solution. Because you had George Eustace, the Environment Secretary, on your programme earlier. He has presided over, sadly, a real erosion in trust between UK fishing industry and the government. The way they can rebuild that is not only to be strong and supportive of UK fishing to get this crew back, but if a mistake has been made by a UK fishing authority not to include the licence of the boat that's been detained by France on the list given to France, ministers need to own up to that pretty soon, be clear about it, because further tensions like this does nothing to find a solution. And we need the fishers to be doing what they're doing best, getting out there, catching amazing, sustainable fish, putting it on supermarket shelves, especially at a time when there's so much disruption in the supply chain. We don't need any further disruption.